Ciao and welcome back to all my returning subscribers. To any of my new subscribers, welcome here. If you're here for the first time, thanks for being here. You're obviously here not just for showing up for me, but for yourself and for the collective consciousness. I'm Zoe, and this is Divinity Within Thee, where I help get, I help us all get in touch with the divine that is within each one of us and kind of channel that a bit. So I'm doing my best, you guys, with this lighting. I do combat a lot of light because I live kind of in a half-glass villa. So I combat light all the time. But beside the point. So if you follow at all, then you will know my last video I started talking about I want to make more videos. I want to do my best to do a weekly or bi-weekly or bi-monthly video. So in between my lunar phases and other planetary attunements. So I've been getting so many downloads, you guys. And just to share a bit, when you're getting a lot of downloads, when you're going through shifts, when there's energetic shifts, anything like this, make sure you are extra hydrating. I make this special water. I put in lemon limes from my tree, mint, and cucumbers. I put it in a glass jar. I let it sit overnight. Every time I pour a glass, I fill it back up, the pitcher back up, and let it get cold again. You can cycle through that several times. And it will keep just re-infusing. It's basically like infused water. Sometimes I use star fruit, pineapple, different things. But it's really good, especially when there's high charge and there's a lot of energy and a lot of energetic shifts. It's really nice. This other one that I really like, I use blue butterfly pea. And that's what makes it this really pretty blue. This is actually purple because I add lemongrass, lime or lemon sometimes, and mint also. A little bit of sweetener if you feel, honey or something like that. Anyways, that was first download of the day, you guys. Hydrate, and it makes water more fun to add a couple little things that infuse it, that make it really easy to drink in a cool circumstance, especially if it's hot. So, first things first, you guys, I've been getting so many downloads and I've been speaking to so many people this past week or two, and there's been a lot happening. Now, what my guides are really, really asking me to speak on is a different type, what they call of like a second portion of ego death, I guess, is the best way vibrationally I can connect the words in which they're asking me to share with you. And it's really interesting because the concept is actually different than just ego death. It's like a second sense of how we deal with things, with people, situations, and how a lot of things that we do, that we unconsciously do, or that we practice continuously doing, and that we think are out of love, out of compassion, blah, 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 is actually our inner ego creating that want or that need. So a couple of examples. I got to turn off this light above me. I put it on, but it's really hot. Forgive me for 1 second. I really don't think it's doing that much, so it's not doing that much. Okay, so first example, right? We tend to remain in relationships. Look at that at 4:44. Time to move forward, guys. So we tend to remain in relationships because we are under the impression that, we need to stick it out. We need to do its best. And while that is important sometimes, not to just give up or bail out on people, it's also extremely important to know the difference between people being ungrateful, people being abusive on different levels, whether it's physically, mentally, verbally, spiritually, emotionally. There's lots of different forms of abuse that we put up with. And it doesn't mean like this person is being abused, like this person is abusing me. It means that we are allowing, and this is the difference, right? This is the difference of ego and identity, right? Now, ego would love to blame, oh, this other person is being abusive to me. Well, you guys, actually, that is, that's why it's like a second part ego. I'm doing my best to come up with the words to communicate the messages properly and what they've been giving me, right? So ego is like, this other person is being abusive to me, and I'm a stand-up citizen because I'm putting up with it, right? But that's one sense of ego. But the other sense of ego is like, I'm putting up with this because maybe how it might look to other people if I just bail out, or I might appear to be weak, or I might, so it's this really interesting process. What they've been teaching me is that ego isn't just in the way that we think. Ego isn't just in this inflated self build up, sense of self build up, right? Ego is also like second example, right? Like I came out here to work on clothing line, to do production, wah wah wee wah, right? What ends up happening? The universe is teaching me patience, right? Patience, pulan pulan, as we call it out here in Bali. It means everything will get done in its right time, but like slow down, like slowly, like you can't force or push or rush anything. So the fact that I wanted all this stuff done by a certain deadline, and while it's good to have a deadline, I'm not saying don't just flail in the wind and not have deadlines or goals or anything like that. There's a difference between everybody's expecting to see this from me, or I should have it done by now, right? I have to accomplish this before I can move on to that. That is actually ego. That is ego. It's like, really, it's like, well, I'm doing what everybody else expects me to do, and although you think you're doing it in a place of like, yes, it's still this interesting form of ego. So we're breaking it down. We're having like our second form of ego death. And that's what the collective is kind of going through right now. So another way this is happening, right? Third example. Let's say, you're doing your best. You're like, you know what? These people are really suffering. I want to help them. I want to give my input, be my feedback, be supportive, right? I want to be supportive of other people. I want to be able to show up for other people. But really, that's also ego. Okay? Yes, if you call and you check in and you care about people, that's in your nature. That's in your nature. However, another sense of ego is basically like, well, I'm helping this person get through this thing because it's the right thing or the compassionate thing to do, right? A lot of people have talked to me about separating from interesting relationships that are causing toxicities, whether they be, partners, friendships, family, even, I've been experiencing a lot of that myself, where it's like, actually, I'm not going to fight. You know what? Like, I don't need to fight to express, to show you the compassion. And it's like in my state, right? I'm going to share my example, right? It's like, well, I have to be love, you know. I am love. I want to be light. I want to be compassionate, and I want to be empathetic to a certain degree, and just always just be like, you know what? I'm just going to give love. I'm just going to be love. I'm going to try to be patient and compassionate with people. However, because they're my family, right? Because I want to have this relationship with my family. I'm trying to heal these things. I really want it to be okay. This is ego. So we're not doing it because it's what's right or feels good, right? We're not moving away from it or towards it because it's what's right or feels good. It's all ego. It's all this interesting intertwined sense of ego. So, ego is essentially our identity, right? How we're perceived, like almost like our rising sign, right? How we're perceived by the world. So it's like, well, I don't want to be a bad person, you know? I don't want to be the asshole. I don't want to be the unempathetic, the incompassionate. I don't want to be the selfish one, whatever, 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 right? Well, the reality is that is ego, not wanting to be that, okay? When we are acting, our sense of self is a completely different space, right? Our sense of self, when we're tapped in to our soul's mission, our soul's path, our soul's being, right? That is our sense of self, not our sense of ego. So it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you know, it's like, man, I really want to go and show up and be supportive of these people and their event, blah, 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 and I really have a nice time. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm really exhausted and I really don't know if I actually like, you know, something inside of me was like, you know, yes, you're going to have a really good time, but also it's a lot. Like you're tired, you're going to spend a lot of money. Like, do you really need to allocate your energy and money, time, attention, presence? All of it is energy. Can you really afford to allocate your energy in such a way currently? And I thought about it. And as much as I was like, wow, having a little bit of FOMO, I was like, no, you know what? Actually, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I could do it either way. It wouldn't have mattered. I could for sure do it either way. But when I stopped to connect from what I wanted to do and that I told people I would do something versus what I was really feeling, it was a completely different thing. Look at that, 1333. So, what are we really calling in? How do we really understand what is healthy and unhealthy ego, healthy and unhealthy relationships that we get intertwined with? And it's not just with people, it can be our relationship with food, it can be our relationship with cigarettes, it can be our relationship with going out and needing to be around other people. What types of relationships are we manifesting? And in manifesting these new, healthier, more aligned relationships to things, right? We are calling in our matching vibration. So, for instance, I'm going to share one more quick story. So, my family, right? They were supposed to come visit me out here. I live on Paradise Island, right? And then it was like all of a sudden, like excuses, excuses, excuses. And so I'm like, 1444. So I start to make up, okay, here's a solution to this, here's a solution to that, here's this, here's that, here's the cost, here's this, here's that. And I'm doing this for like almost a week. And finally, you know, finally my mother breaks down and is like, well, actually, we already booked another trip. You know, we're going on a cruise. We know you're not really into that and da da da. It's like, um, okay. So you wasted my time. You wasted my energy, like attempting to prepare this. And it wasn't just a little bit of people, you know, it was a lot of people involved in the situation, a lot of time, effort, energy to find all of this. And I really want to do it because I really am like, you know, I haven't been seeing my family in nearly 4 years. I just, and I don't feel like I'm supposed to be leaving here. So I realized, you know, what came through very hard is that was ego. That was ego, really wanting to be part of it, you know. And I was like, you know, at the end, I was like, all right, fine. You know, maybe I would like to participate. Maybe I'll come. And it was like, oh, well, you know, we already are all booked. And, you know, there's not really like proper availability. It would cost you too much money, you know, maybe another time. And at first, my initial response was, you know, kind of like, fuck you, you know, I'll figure out my own way or I'll do my own thing. And then it was like, actually, you know, like, you know, you're not, you don't really consider me part of your family. How can this be like family if you're helping extended family, but not me when I'm your own child, right? It's super weird. And so I had this epiphany and my guides came in and they told me, we are reconnecting with our soul family at this point. Now, our blood family, our earth family, are similar to like different types of soulmates that we cross paths with. And they're here. They're here for us to be with, to learn, to grow from, to teach us lessons, you know, to grow, right? And what my guides kept coming through and saying is not all of the people, all of the connections that we were connected to at one point are all those who were meant to stay connected to, right? And as we're leveling up, as our frequency is rising, therefore also our circle, our family, our connectivity is rising. So some of the people that we might have been like super tight with forever, maybe like we can't connect with them anymore. And we're not meant to, right? And my guides kept telling me, you know, we're meant to call in, we're calling in our soul family, our star family, and we're calling in these people. And if you release these things, these people, these situations, this frustration, these things that bring you this frustration, you will be blessed with other things. So I decided, you know what, I'm not even responding to it anymore. The messages, the call, everything's pissing me off. So I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to stop reading it. I'm going to stop listening to it. I'm going to stop responding to it and see what happens. You know, I'm just going to go ghost mode on them. And so I did. And wouldn't you believe, since then, I've had 3 or 4 people that have come down, and the whole time I've been here, a month today, a month. And you know, before that, it was like I was in my own space. I needed to be in my own space. I needed to do this introspective work. And now all of a sudden, I have like all of these people, you know, that now are really wanting to come and visit me, wanting to come and see me. Literally like 5 people in like 3 days hit me up. I would like, you know, like reconnecting with me, wanting to come. And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, these are the people that are on the same frequency. These are the people in the same vibration. My friends come down. We can speak about all this stuff. Like all of a sudden, like, I have production in play. I now have like a friend that's provided a contract for me. And the people that do the production that are definitely not going to steal the material or my patterns or anything like that. And like they're really high end, high quality, right? And not just the people producing, but the people that I'm getting to spend this time. And we're just like opening up, and there's like this joyous type energy, and then more of it, and more people and more situations are just like flowing in. Why? Because I relinquish the other frequencies, the other people, the other relationships to things, even to certain types of foods. I've cut it off. And so now I'm feeling more energy. I'm feeling healthier. I'm feeling lighter, just from removing some people, removing some things. And it's super beautiful. And the amount of downloads and everything that's coming in now is so, so beautiful, right? And it's giving me this time and this space and this desire, this want to actually share the knowledge, to reach out and communicate more with people and help them and guide them through these shifts. Because a lot of people are experiencing this anxiety, this depression, this like, what is wrong? And what is wrong is we are still, it's still ego feeling a need to be connected, to prove something to ourselves or these people. It's like, no, I don't have anything to prove to anybody else. I'm doing this for myself. That's still fucking ego, right? I'll tell you what's not ego. What's not ego is being present. What's not ego is learning to just be, to just be okay with, just, it's not going to get done today. I need to take a rest. It is what it is, right? It's about offering no resistance at all. And what is this resistance? The resistance is anything that doesn't fucking feel good. Anything, anybody, whatever it is. 22. So anything, anybody that doesn't feel good, even if it does feel good sometimes and then all of a sudden it doesn't, then it doesn't. Then say, okay, you know what? It doesn't feel good anymore. Remove yourself, or don't participate, or change your plans. It's okay. Honor that. Honor in engaging in anything, any type of practices that are allowing you to feel present, that are not offering any form of resistance. I was speaking with one of my dear friends. Shout out to Caleb out there. I hope you can see. I hope there's more light on my face this time. And we reconnect after every so many years, but we grew up together. We went through some stuff together, and we've been chatting a lot. And the reality is it's like everybody, no matter where they are on what side of the world, is going through similar situations. And we really have to intuitively tune in. If something feels good, if we're seeing, there's just like all this alignment that started to happen when we started to speak again. It's like, oh, I'm seeing these numbers and I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that. And it's like, yes, that is exactly where we need to be. And I started speaking to her about Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you guys follow Abraham Hicks. I would highly recommend it. She is channeling what she calls source energy. And it's basically like a collection of oversouls that are coming in, and they speak in they answer questions and stuff like this. Check it out if you haven't. Do yourself a favor. And I was talking to her about the 17-second rule. So in 17 seconds, we are creating a snowball effect of sorts, right? Like a domino effect. And it takes only 17 seconds to really be like, what's something that makes me feel good? Like Like, I love the way that this breeze feels, you know. Oh, I love when the cold air, like, just comes in and, like, right? And if you can think about something beautiful for 17 seconds, like, oh, my kitty is so soft and cuddly and so sweet. Oh, and just think about it. Just visualize it even. It doesn't even have to be happening. Just visualize that little bit of happiness for 17 seconds. Then the next thought, then the next thought, then the next thought, then the next thought. And this is a reality, right? It's like the domino effect. So it's really about, guys, like, what makes us feel good when we're not feeling good, when we're feeling down, when we're feeling depressed. Like, just trick your mind. Think about something that feels good. Think about a funny joke, some music, anything, and trick your mind and get into that sense of, how do I remove myself from this person that doesn't make me feel good, this situation, this place, you know? We can do it now that we're super tapped into 5D. We're moving out of this 3D. We have the ability. Time is not linear. Past, present, and future are all existing in the now. Okay? So right now is all that matters. And how quick can you change how you feel? In a heartbeat. Literally, in a heartbeat. And so I encourage everybody, you know, in these times where it's whatever, it's like, go outside. It's like, you know, take a flower. Like, I love these. I hear we call them frangipanis. They're called plumeria in the US. I just like, I love to just stop, smell the roses, stop and smell the flowers, stop and look at how beautiful the colors are, how vibrant, you know. Today I woke up a bit tired and I went out and I cut some of these fresh flowers from my garden, these up from the ground, and it's just, it changes everything, right? Changes the patterning, it changes the process. So the best way we can go back to how we really do our best to relinquish ego in all of its forms is there any bit of resistance in this thing that we want, in this thing that we're making happen, in this person, in this situation, in this relationship, in this food, like in anything? Is there any bit of resistance? If there's any bit of resistance, then it is not in alignment. It is not bringing joy. It is not producing happiness, and it is not going to. And no matter how much you attempt to make it, that is human. That is human space. 11:11. That is human space attempting to control. And when we try to control the outcome, the situation, and we're like, no, this is what I'm going to do this because it's good and it makes sense. That's not the way a source works. That's not the way the universe is. It's got to be in a flow. So if ask yourself ever, you're like, am I doing what's right? And it's like, man, if there's resistance, if this person is pissing me off, if it's causing me stress, if I'm feeling triggered at all, that's resistance. Now, how we do, and I'll do another video about this, how we do work on some of our shadow work is finding some of these planes of resistance, because I know this was a question that was being asked. But this is a different type of resistance, okay? And I will work on next week doing a video on how we can get a little bit deeper into our shadow work, because that was something that was mentioned. But yeah, guys, the next video will be a live for the full moon that we're having here on the 14th or 15th. And remember, for every full moon, I do live. So if you're subscribed, go ahead and you can ask questions in real time. I pull cards And it's super beautiful to be able to engage with you guys. And also the questions that you guys ask, the questions that you guys pose also help everybody else. You know, I always get these private messages and texts and emails and things like that. But guys, share it in the comments because really it helps other people. They're like, oh my God, you're going through the same thing. Oh my God, I connected to that too. And that's why. Plus, when you comment, it helps my videos get out to more people. So let's pull a super attractor. Two cards came out. Look how beautiful this is. Okay. Feeling good will bring me far more than whatever I thought I needed. So yes, we have to be in this space of doing what feels good. Doing what feels good. Finding our joy and letting it snowball. When I introduce joy to a situation, I change the vibrational frequency of what is happening around me. You guys, I can't make this shit up. I couldn't if I wanted to. How beautiful is that? Oh, for one more. When I'm in a state of appreciation, I'm in vibrational alignment with my true love nature. So you guys, what the downloads that my guides, universe, source, creator, spirit guides, angels, ancestors are really conveying at this point is, you know, find things that bring us joy, find the things that make us happy. And when we do that, when we just figure out whatever it is, even if it's we put in our headphones and we just tune out, and, you know, we don't have to create reasons to everybody to why we're doing something, like because it makes me happy, because it's making me smile, because it's bringing me joy. That's why I'm doing it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Find the simple things that bring you joy. Sometimes for me, it's taking a nap. Sometimes it's being half naked. Sometimes it's dancing. Sometimes it's listening to music loud. Sometimes it's meditating. Sometimes it's shuffling my cards. Sometimes it's cooking. Sometimes it's sewing, you know, even stopping projects I was working on just to do some other random project because I feel stuck in the one project that I'm doing. It's okay. It's bringing me joy. Does it make sense to everybody else? Like, what happened to this other project you were doing we want to see? It doesn't matter. That's ego. Step out of that. As always, you guys, I appreciate you being here. Yourself, your soul, your oversouls appreciate you being here. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. As always, infinite blessings, love, and light. Ciao for meow.